Hey everyone, Justin Smith, 30 scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on our YouTube page. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. Also leave a like. If you are a subscriber, turn on the notification bell so you can be notified when we drop content on our YouTube page. I am here today to break down some breaking news as the Crimson Tide just picked up a verbal commitment from four-star athlete Isaiah Bond out of Bruford High School in Bruford, Georgia. Bond becomes the Crimson Tide's 21st commit in the 2022 recruiting class, joining his current teammate Jake Pope as an Alabama pledge, as Pope verbally committed to the Crimson Tide in August. Bond committed to the Crimson Tide over Georgia and Florida. He was once committed to Florida, but he decommitted from the Gators after unofficially visiting the Crimson Tide for a game day visit in November when the Crimson Tide took on the Arkansas Razorbacks, and after Dan Mullen was fired by the Florida program. The Crimson Tide have been consistently pushing for Bond throughout this 2022 recruiting cycle. I remember him telling me a lot of times that they have been on him ever since they offered him, and they have been in constant contact with him ever since they put that offer on the table. When he committed to the Gators, it was a bit of a surprise when he committed to Florida, because many expected that Alabama was in a good position, especially with them already having an official visit date locked in to visit Alabama during the month of June when he committed to the Gators. He eventually did take that official visit to Alabama despite being committed to the Gators. He posted a video that got a lot of views and a lot of interaction on Twitter with him being in the car with Nick Saban and Miss Terry, and I think that just really showed that Alabama really wanted to land Bond in this 2022 recruiting class. I remember talking to him in September after watching him and Jake Pope in Bruford High School take on Myers Park High School out of North Carolina, and he told me that the Crimson Tide's contact with him had picked up over the last couple of weeks or so in September, with them being committed to the Gators. And he told me that he still had a special place in his heart for the Crimson Tide. He wanted to eventually get to Alabama for a couple of games this season. He eventually got to Alabama for that Arkansas game, like I said earlier. He was also in attendance when the Crimson Tide took on Miami in Mercedes-Benz Stadium to kick off this football season. Bond becomes, like I said, the Crimson Tide's 21st commit. He could be a wide receiver. I think he's leaning more towards playing wide receiver at the next level, in my opinion. I think that is the position that he prefers, but he could be a defensive back at the next level as well. I think the Crimson Tide will keep the door open for him to play either position, but I think he's leaning more towards playing wide receiver at the next level. If he does play wide receiver, he becomes the Crimson Tide's third wide receiver pledge in this 2022 recruiting class, joining Aaron Anderson and also Kobe Prentice. Those guys are more slot wide receivers. I think Isaiah Bond would be more of an outside guy. He's listed at 5'10", weighs 175 pounds. He's a lengthy guy, but he could be a slot guy as well, because he could play all over the field because of the versatility that he brings to the game. Also, that speed. Crimson Tide continues to want to add speed to their team, and Isaiah Bond is bringing a lot of speed. He is a track state champion in the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, and is part of a 4x100-meter relay team that won the state championship as well. He has a PR of 10.4 in the 100-meter dash, so he's bringing a lot of speed, track speed, to translate to the football field. As you guys can see on film, he brings a lot to the football field on both sides of the ball. I think he has really grown as a wide receiver during his senior season. As a junior, he looked as if he didn't have all of it together, but you can see the athleticism and the versatility that he brought to the table this year as a senior, which is the highlights that pretty much started his video with him wearing number 1. He looks a bit more relaxed, a bit more put together as a wide receiver in terms of his route running in terms of his confidence, and he's a lot more physical this year. That is something that really stood out when I saw him in action this year. So the Crimson Tide pick up a verbal commitment from a speedy, versatile athlete and Isaiah Bond right before National Signing Day, which is on December 15th. The Crimson Tide will look to add some more talent to the 2022 class and to their team in the future on National Signing Day, possibly before National Signing Day. Things are changing pretty quickly on the recruiting trail. We did not have the process on our YouTube page today. I am traveling to Mississippi on this evening to check out the first practice of the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game with a couple of Tide commits playing in that. We will have information on that over at touchdownalabama.com. We'll also post some video highlights on our YouTube page as well. For all other Alabama recruiting content with Nick Saban and multiple Alabama assistant coaches, hit hitting the recruiting trail this week, you guys can head over to touchdownalabama.com or follow me on Twitter at JDSmith31Smith. Again, that is JDSmith31Smith. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on our YouTube page. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below. Also, be sure to leave a like. If you are a subscriber, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we drop content. As always, I am Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama.